afternoon, YouTubes, and happy 4th of July. So it is about 1 o'clock. We took the morning off kind of easily. Had breakfast, a leisurely breakfast. When we got out, I think we are heading out to get ice and beer at the local convenience store that's located here at the RV park. We got up pretty early. We had breakfast, and at about 10:30 today, Ryan was in the shower, and normally when he's like just walking around the shower, the trailer moves a little bit just because. And I thought he was whatever he was doing inside, and I yelled. I'm like, "Are you moving around in there?" Because the trailer started shaking, and I started getting texts from my cousins and friends that we are actually experiencing an earthquake. We're maybe an hour and a half drive, 2-hour drive from the epicenter. So we're a little bit outside, but we definitely did feel it, and it was a pretty. I think it's been a while since I felt an earthquake that lasted that long. It was sort of a rolling, smooth earthquake. It wasn't like jiggly, but I definitely got a little bit dizzy after. So we were just in the trailer. We weren't doing anything, and we just sort of felt it. So yeah, I'm going to say explosive start to the 4th of July celebrations, but a little bit of excitement this morning. Like I said, it's about 1 o'clock. I think our friends are going to start arriving around 4 or 5, and we are going to make spaghetti. I'm going to make spaghetti, and our friends are going to bring chicken and other side dishes. And I think it's funny because my kababayans will know that spaghetti and fried chicken is a very Filipino party dish. Everybody knows, if you go to Jollibee or you go to McDonald's, you go KFC, you go to any fast food joint in the Philippines, they will have spaghetti, rice, and chicken. So they indulged me a little bit, and we are going to celebrate Filipino style during the American independence. So freedom to have whatever you want to eat. But yeah, we're just going to take our bike rides to the local store. And I don't normally wear lipstick this thick at 1 in the afternoon on a holiday, but I am prone to getting cold sores, and I already felt it sort of day one when we were here. And yeah, it popped open last night, and it just looks like a murder scene. So I didn't want people to get like kind of grossed out by my lip side. There's the red part of the red, white, and blue. So the celebrations are just starting. We're hoping that people will come in. We're going to have a good time outside, and we're going to watch the fireworks. So you know, that's going to be exciting, especially since this is going to be our last 4th of July here in America. So happy 4th of July to everybody who's watching, and let's start the celebrations. Okay, so we just woke up from a little nappy nap. It's about 3:30-ish. And we are going to make the spaghetti. The guys are going to show up around 5 o'clock, and this spaghetti is very different from I was going to say Filipino spaghetti, which really it is Filipino spaghetti. We like our spaghetti sweet. I think we put ketchup, but growing up we just bought the mix of the spaghetti, and it was just sweeter than what I am now making. And I got this recipe from my mother-in-law, and she would make this all the time, and it is just a hit with everybody. And actually I make this more often than the Filipino sweet style spaghetti. I don't even make it anymore. It's just when I'm maybe invited to a friend's place, or I see a local Filipino market and I just buy it made. But this is the go-to spaghetti, and that is what we are going to make. It's really easy and delicious, and I've made this for a couple years now. So Let's get it started. So we have bacon. I think my mother-in-law didn't use bacon, but I like bacon, so that was my addition to the recipes. I always render the fat of bacon and then let the onions cook in bacon fat. I also put some garlic olive oil in there. But one of the things that she really used a lot of, and you can really taste the flavor, is just dried oregano, whichever the part of the country and however you say it. And every time I put another layer of ingredients, I dash a bit of oregano, however you say it, into the dish. How do you say it?
Oregano. Oregano, I've heard that too.
At some point, can I have help to open the wine?
So I'm gonna go look at parking for Trevor.
Okay. So every layer, I put the bacon in, I put a little bit of oregano, put the onions in, I put oregano. So next, I am going to put some garlic. Now, this is technically going to be dinner, and I'm a little bit hungry because we just had breakfast today. So I may make a little side dish for myself, if you don't mind. So I'm going to put a ton of garlic. Now, Ryan and I are big fans of garlic. It seems to work, so I put a lot of garlic. So while that's starting to get aromatic, let's talk about the meats. Sorry, my eyes itchy. So again, I think one of the beauty of this recipe, it's very forgiving. It's whatever meat you have. I happen to have some sausage in the fridge, which I cook for breakfast, and I've definitely used that. And I'm trying to remember what my mother-in-law actually uses. I think she uses like ground pork, but I don't know. Obviously, ground beef works. Sometimes I've done 50-50 just to bulk it up. So yeah, I've done both. I think just about done cooking. The bacon is definitely done, and that will really. And I think if you're using ground beef, especially here in the States where everything is just like lean, a little bit of fat, is always flavor. Fat is flavor. So now I think we're ready for the meats. There. Just dunk the ground meat in there. And I want to slower the heat a little bit. And we will let it fry and pour some wine in.
Hi, honey.
Thanks, Paul. It's getting nice and caramelized. Now, the pots we have here are non-stick, and it just works in a van because you use less water and it's easier to clean. But you can imagine if you use this in a non-stick, actually one of the sticky pans that you pour the wine in, like that's what you're looking for. But this will have to do. Now, almost every dish in the Philippines starts with tomato, onions, and garlic. That's kind of like our sofrito, or the mirepoix of the French. Like those are the holy trinity of things. Alright, so I'm just going to wait for the sausage to brown, and then I'm going to pour the wine. Alright, so put salt and more, oh no, and then I'm gonna put some wine in. Now, I think the basic rule for wine is you want drinkable wine for cooking. You know, when I first started to learn how to cook 10 years ago, 12 years ago, you know, you go to the aisles and there's like cooking sherry, and which is perfectly fine. I use cooking sherry, cooking wine. Never knew what the difference was, but now I just follow this rule of, you know, kind of cook with the wine that you're going to drink during dinner as well. And I am actually allergic to red wine, like drinking red wine. Once the alcohol is cooked off, it's fine. Ryan though, likes drinking red wine sometimes with spaghetti, and he's not really a social wine drinker. He's more like gin and beer, or gin and tonic and beer is what I meant. So we shall cook this and let it reduce. The measurements here, by the way, you'll notice when I cook, is very approximation and that kind of thing, because I am not one of the cooking shows that really got me into cooking is, if you know her, is Nigella Lawson. And I think the reason is because her measurements are kind of like my measurements. It's a dash of this and a pinch of that and cross fingers for the other one. And I think I like that kind of, that's kind of my style of cooking, because I can't be bothered. I don't want to sort of be restricted with always having a measurement for cooking. So go with your taste. I would say for this amount though, half a bottle. And as with everything when it comes to alcohol, you want to let that basically cook off and render down. So I'm going to drop the bay leaf in both the dishes I'm making. Bay leaf is one of those things that we use a lot in the Philippines. They're called dahon ng laurel in Tagalog. And again, the amount is kind of what you feel like putting. That there. So now let's talk about the sauce. That is the sauce that my mother-in-law uses. It works, but is it technically making spaghetti sauce? Maybe not, but as long as it tastes good and everybody's happy, who cares, right? I don't think the kitchen is the place to be a snob when it comes to, if you are in the mood to squeezing your own tomatoes and making it the way your family would make it, feel free to do so, but this is kind of how we make our spaghetti now. So let me just... Okay, so this is what we have going so far. I put a bottle of sauce in there, but I look like I might need the other bottle. And this one was all the leftovers that I didn't want to store anyways, so that is just cooking. It's like a Filipino dish. So we'll see how this renders, and we'll go from there. I forgot to bring Parmesan cheese, or we forgot to bring Parmesan cheese. And normally it's at this stage that I put the Parmesan cheese. To be honest, I don't remember my mother-in-law putting Parmesan cheese in the sauce directly, but I like it. And then when we're back home, I actually like to use Filipino cheese, which is real cheese, I don't think. And that's what I use. So a little bit more. Can you see if this is enough for everybody, you think? Ryan, can you see if this is enough for everybody? Doesn't look like a lot.
Yeah, I feel like maybe a little more.
I'll just...
Are we gonna put it in the Instant Pot, or just gonna put the
Well,
noodles in the Instant Pot?
No, I'll put this, I'll transfer this into a bowl. I'll rinse it, I'll just make the noodles here.
Oh,
So
so
I
no
don't have-
Instant Pot.
Yeah, so I don't have to rinse out the rice in there.
So that.
I just didn't want to put back all the chopped pieces in it, so I just cooked it all together.
Cool.
Alright, we used 2 cans of the spaghetti sauce here. Oops. So, let's adjust the flavors again. Transfer the sauce to like one of these things, like a mixing bowl, because I have to use a pot to make the pasta as well. So let's go ahead and transfer. I'm gonna stop that right now.
We have lime, or should I use a little lime packets? We do? Oh, it's open and closed, just like that. Good day for a gin and tonic, actually. Before.
Happy 4th, guys. So it's about 7 p.m. It's still nice and bright, and we just decided to grab a couple of bench and go sort of lakefront. That's the lakefront. And one of the reasons is because they had removed the fire rings in front of the trailer, the individual trailers, because last night somebody left their fire smoldering and it was such a fire hazard. Again, because it's so dry, I'm surprised they thought that they could get away with it without putting some sort of barrier, especially in Southern California, where we've been talking about the drought and the forest fires that we have every year. So as much as it's a pain, I totally understand why the fire marshals thought that it was going to be such a fire hazard. But at the same time, I think that the park should have probably guarded the fire rings a little bit more safely. But anyway, there are fire rings all over the lake, and we are just waiting for our friends to arrive. Ryan's just getting some more stuff to bring out, but we're gonna make s'mores out in the lake, and it's turning out to be a pretty exciting day. So yeah, it's super exciting. We're gonna watch the sunset. Is gonna happen at about 8:20 p.m. So we're expecting the fireworks around 9 o'clock. So we shall catch that in a little bit.
Oreo. Yeah.
I had Spam this morning. That's American, or at least that's from the GIs.
So I figure we're waiting until the fireworks are before we light this thing off, right? No, it's a fireworks.
Yeah, there's the trash bag right here.
It's a bit more exciting than this fireworks section.
Okay. Come on, guy. You're the only veteran here. Jay, what's wrong with you?
Pretty bad. I'm gonna have to say, I think I've seen better at the house. No, I mean, you saw it at the, what do you call it? They had it out on the fucking hill. These guys were shooting up like a couple of $1,000s worth of
Listen.
fucking fireworks all over.
Some of the best fireworks shows I've seen is in the Philippines.
Is it the Philippines?
Yeah, because we don't.
You don't have any restrictions.
Exactly.
No, this one's pretty good with the stars. You don't see the stars out here that much when
Offset.
you're down in LA.